McCrorys Stores, also known as J.G. McCrorys, were five-and-dime stores in the United States and based out of Pennsylvania. The stores sold a wide range of products and often included a lunch counter or snack bar. They also exclusively sold Oriole records, which were one of the most popular dime store labels from 1921 to 1938. John Graham McCrory opened his first store in Pennsylvania in 1882. By 1885, the chain had 5 stores in the state. McCrory was known for his thrifty nature, so much so that he legally dropped the E from his last name so he would not have to pay for extra letters on his store signage. That's right, he legally changed his name to avoid having to pay for an extra letter on the signs of his retail storefronts. Keeping with that thrifty nature, one of the firm's policies was to acquire locations whenever property could be found at a reasonable purchase price. In November 1925, approximately 2/3 of its stores were leased, with the remainder owned by the McCrory Realty Corporation. The retailer's gross sales approached $30 million by the mid-1920s, while operating 187 stores. McCrorys Stores had 45 departments, containing over 10,000 different items of merchandise, consisting of laces and embroideries from France, Switzerland, Germany, England, Scotland, and Ireland, handkerchiefs, towels, and table goods of pure linen from the famous looms of Old Ireland, curtains from Nottingham, England, fine china from Bavaria and Austria, novelties all the way from the Far East, toys from the shops of the old German artisans of the Black Forest. All of these were but a few examples of the extent of the McCrorys Store's purchasing power. Prices ranged from 10 cents each all the way down to 50 items for 5 cents. Consumers marveled at the high quality of their products. While they built up the brand to include 244 stores, the company did enter bankruptcy in January of 1933. The company was dissolved, but it was reestablished as McCrorys Stores and resumed operations. One of the early investors was Sebastian Sparing Kresge, who later founded the S.S. Kresge chain that eventually evolved into Kmart. In 1899, Kresge traded his interest in the McCrorys Memphis, Tennessee store for McCrory's interest in the Detroit, Michigan store, giving him control there. In 1987, the Kmart Corporation sold its remaining Kresge and Jupiter stores in the U.S. to McCrorys Stores. Along with Frank W. Woolworth, McCrory and Kresge pioneered the concept of the American variety store. During the first half of the 20th century, a Woolworth, Kresge, or McCrory 5-and-dime eventually sprouted up in almost every city and town in the United States, ultimately spreading to Europe, Canada, and Australia as well. At its height, McCrory's operated 1,300 stores under its own name and as TGNY, McClellan, H.L. Green, Silvers, G.C. Murphy, J.J. Newberry, and Otasco. Meshulam Riklis purchased McCrory in 1960 and merged it with the H.L. Green Company. At the time, it was the 4th largest retailer in the United States. Riklis controlled McCrory's through the Rapid American Holding Company. The company continued to thrive and grow during the 1960s and 1970s. McCrorys Stores purchased the 439-unit J.J. Newberry Company in 1972. It operated Newberry as a separate division and continued to open stores under the Newberry banner. On January 1st, 1981, McCrory purchased the S.H. Crescent Company chain from Genesco. The 66-store chain, once a fierce rival, was a natural fit for the variety store chain. As the economic expansion of the 1980s progressed, so did the successes of McCrory. They continued to expand and remodel stores as volume and profits grew exponentially. McCrory purchased the Oklahoma-based TGNY discount store chain in 1985. This proved to be a difficult transition for the company, as the discount chain was not a natural fit for McCrory. Many of their stores were beyond the typical 10 to 15,000 square foot footprint that the company operated in, and the merchandise mix was very different. The TGNY stores were not profitable, and they drained McCrory of valuable assets. Many of the TGNY stores were converted to the bargain time banner that McCrory operated and were closed as the 1980s came to an end. In 1987, McCrorys Stores purchased the 76 remaining Kresge and Jupiter stores from the Kmart Corporation, which had long given up on the variety stores division, and that reunited the companies. All stores were now converted to McCrorys. Rickless was really good at shifting assets between his famous and successful brand name companies and the holding companies that really operated them. Ultimately, he drove McCrorys into bankruptcy while keeping a great deal of the assets. In 1989, 1,300 stores were operated by the McCrory Company. However, as the decade turned, its fortunes decreased, and by 1992, it filed for bankruptcy. The changing retail landscape, including the migrating of shoppers from the inner cities to the influx of superstores such as Target and Walmart, sealed the fate of the once mighty Five and Dime. Several rounds of store closures followed, with one of the biggest coming in 1997 when McCrorys shuttered 300 of its last 460 stores. In December 2001, McCrorys Stores announced that the remaining McCrorys, TGNY, GC Murphy, and JJ Newberry stores that it was operating would begin liquidating, and in February 2002, the company ceased operation. While they're no longer around today, there is no denying the influence that they had over a century of retail successes. Thanks for watching Memory Mountain. If you enjoyed this video, please click to subscribe to our channel and hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to tap the notification bell so you'll be one of the first to know when we post our next story looking back over the landscape of Americana.